My name is Cody Worrell. I'm married to Chelsea Worrell, son-in-law of Rick and Robin Haynes. Whenever I was born, my dad spent the first 3 years of his life in prison for possession of marijuana. At the time, no, I was staying with his mom, my grandma, and then there was my mom, and she was doing okay, but she wasn't no better than my dad in prison because she was strung out on the actual dope, just shooting up, cranked out, and just whatever. So you can't raise a baby, you can't raise a child whenever you're on that stuff. And when my dad was in prison, she met my stepdad at a bar, and then had my little brother. Just right from the get-go, man, check it out. I'm born, got my dad in prison, my mom ran off with another dude, had another kid. What I remember was living with my mom and my stepdad and my little brother, being real young, and mom and dad, they'd fight all the time, and I didn't know why they were always fighting. It's because they're using drugs, and I don't mean weed. I'm talking about shooting up, getting cranked out, just going crazy. And those are the kind of things that the devil just kind of uses just to be like, check it out, man, this is what you went through, and this is why you're not going to amount to anything. I've had an addiction problem, and I was addicted, and I can say addicted now, but I was addicted to weed, marijuana. It didn't start out big, and it started out small. And I started having friends, and I started smoking way more than $5 a day or $5 a week, and I was smoking like $60 to $100 a day. And after a while of that, man, it was like, whoo, hold on a second, this is costing me a lot of money, and we got to selling, and went from a pound a week to like 2 pounds a week. Well, you got 16 ounces in a pound, that's $100 a piece, that's $3,200 max profit. And anyways, we were making between $2,000 and $3,000 a week selling this crap 100 feet from the school while I was raising my little brother. And of course he was smoking too. We were all smoking. And I don't know, it was just a whirlwind, man. And God tried to get me out of it at numerous different times. Just simple pull you over, get you caught with some weed. Think maybe get stopped in because you're afraid or you're scared. After a while, man, it's not fun anymore. You're just like, hey man, you want to get high and have all the boys come over? You're like, we did that the last 389 days. Let's do something else, man. Like you just feel empty. I always hid it from everybody, and I don't know, like I didn't really feel bad about doing it, I just didn't want everybody else to know because of the persona that's around potheads, I didn't want to be associated with a pothead, but I was a pothead. I have this little pipe and this little pinch hitter and the same wallet and everything. And my wife and her family kind of know that I had this addiction problem or whatever, and but it is just, at this point, it's all my wife and I ever fight about, and it's all we ever talk about, and it's a constant battle for her, and it's destroying us. It really is. But I'd keep a little pipe right here, and it would take about this much of my wallet. Then on the back side right here, I would shove a little bitty plastic or whatever in it and hold, maybe it would fill up my pipe 2 or 3 times, and that would be it. Just enough to where if I ever get pulled over, I could swallow it a little bad or get rid of it or whatever, and eat what I had so I wouldn't get in trouble for it. But what I would do was anytime I get mad, I'd run. And, or upset, I'd leave or run, or we get into a fight, I'd run. Well, we were living on 40 acres. I'd just go out in 40 acres and light one up, you know? And then once you're real mad and you get high, marijuana affects everybody differently, because it affects your chemical balance in your body. And anyways, for me, it just kind of calmed me down. It just kind of mellowed me out. Man, I just struggled. Weed has been the absolute biggest struggle. It still is, that I've ever attempted and had to overcome. But I'm about to tell you something pretty cool, man, and it's gonna blow your socks off. But I walked through those front doors. Man, we got the best church in the world here, and I'm not just saying that because I go here. I remember walking in those doors, and we got the two greeters, and those dudes, I bet they smile so much their cheeks hurt. And everybody in here is just like, it's like both sides of the hallway are just lined up, and it's just like you gotta kind of cram in to get to the sanctuary, and everybody on the way in is just giving you hugs and giving you handshakes and high fives, and it's just like, man, before you even get to hear the word of God, you're just like, whew, feels good to be here, you know. I wasn't sitting as close to the front as I do now, but I was sitting on looking at the screen on the left-hand side, and towards the back a little bit, and had the old piping weed in pocket all the time, man. Police station, wherever I went, hey, it was on me. And maybe not the police station, probably took it out. But I remember listening to whatever Matt said. I don't know what it was, but whatever it was, God spoke straight to Matt and straight into my heart. And that was it, man. I was just sick of battling, just sick of dealing with what I had to deal with. And I just thinking, I was like, man, I don't want to go up to the altar at the end of service and get down on my hands and knees. Like, I need to go straight to Matt. Like, I need the pastor on this deal. I need him. And I remember thinking through church, how am I gonna, he's such a busy guy, how am I gonna get him just to, focus on me for a second, and help me out. God took care of that. After church, I was just I don't know if he could see it on my face or if his spirit could sense it. But he asked me, Cody, is everything okay? I said, no, man, it's not. He says, you want to talk? I said, yeah, I do. And we walked back in the sanctuary. We were on the hallway, walked back in the sanctuary, hooked a left right in front of where the sound booth is at, and sat down for a second. And, he was sitting to my left and sitting kind of like this, and not like that, and I was just sitting there, and he goes, well, what's the problem? And I said, Matt, I have an addiction problem, man. And I just looked at me and just kind of let me talk for a second. I said, man, I'm addicted to weed. He just kind of shaking his head, and just told him, I said, man, this crap, for real, it's gonna destroy my marriage, and I got a great girl. I said, Matt, and I go like this. And I pulled out a pipe, man, and it freaking reeked. It just stunk to high heavens. And I turned towards him, and he just looked at me. And at this point, man, I didn't know whether he was going to be like, what are you doing in my church with the pipe, or call the cops, man, arrest him, or, man, just all these possibilities are playing through my head, He just looks at me. He just smiles, man. looked at me and smiled, and I pulled out a pipe in church, man. For real, he looked, smiled from ear to ear. And that day right there, unless God ever leads me anywhere else, this is my home. This is where I planted my feet. This is where I'm going to stay. And the fact that we have a pastor whose arms are as open, as wide as they are, does not judge you. Didn't judge me, man. Whenever you got God, that's a good feeling to have, because you know He's going to take care of you. And I knew He's going to take care of me. And He did.